What's happening, guys? Noob Master here, back again with another build. This one's gonna be an interesting one. 2018 Nissan Almera. The gentleman is a Uber driver, so he wants his space. So in case he basically picks a client up that's got luggage and that. At the same time, you know, he wants that oomph in a trunk. So, well, I decided to make him a package, which he's now got. Number one on the list is now the Pioneer 4 channel. Okay, this bad boy here, it's a very decent entry level 4 channel amp. Powerful enough to power your subwoofer as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think this particular amp will give you bridged 190 watts RMS, if I'm not mistaken with that one there. Then followed by the Stetson high-low converter. This baby here will now obviously be used to send a signal from the two speakers to the amp, so that now you can actually use a factory radio along with the factory speakers in front to your amp, so it enables you to connect to the amp, okay, or to your deck, the amp to the deck, sorry. Then followed by the woofer, the big bad boy, JBL Stage 810. It's an 8-inch woofer, SVC. The normal rated RMS on this here is 200 watts RMS, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, coming down, okay, here it's a mini ANL fuse with the holder, so I'm contemplating of using between this one and that one for the power. Okay, I'll see between the two choices which one I'll be using on that one there. Distribution block, I've got two of these, one for the positive, negative. This will be mounted at the back in the boot itself, in the trunk. Then I've got this fuse here, or this fuse splitter, basically running off maybe the ignition for the high-low converter to switch it on and off when the car switches on and off, depending. But with this here, you got many choices. You can either use this method, or you can wire it directly to your block, your distribution block. Only problem is you're gonna have to put in some sort of switch in front there, so that once you turn off the car, you also manually turn off the amp's remote. Okay, that's just another option that you can do now. Then followed by the sound deadening, just treating parts and portions of the trunk so that you minimize your rattles. This is just basic in it. I think this is a 3 mil sound deadening treatment there. And then I'll show you guys now the power. This is looking nice. This is looking good. I like. Alrighty then. This is now the cables that I'll be using to power the amp and the high-low converter. Okay, starting off, this is the ground cable, 16mm squared. Over here I've got a couple of options here. I can either use a 16mm or I can use the 10mm. Okay, these are both copper. These are both copper cables, and I've got the power one, which is going to be the red one. I'll just show it to you on the other side, which is also, I've got both of them, the 16mm and the 10mm squared. Okay, here's the other option of power cable, basically for my positive. It's a 4 gauge CCA cable. Okay, but I'm still gonna opt for this one here, which is either the 10 or the 16mm squared. More likely to be the 10mm squared. It can handle, I've done the calculations there, it can handle up to a 50 amp draw all day long without any hassles. That will be the 10mm squared. Okay, so these are, like I say, it's just options that I've got. Then over here it'll be the wrap for the power cable, the positive. So it kind of gives the car that feel of it's from a factory, OEM feel. Okay, coming over to this one here. This now would be my subwoofer wiring. This is a 1.5 millimeter squared diameter, with the width of the cable. I've got options here. I can either use this one here, or I can use the 1 mil. This is the 1 mil meter squared. Okay, preferably I think I'm gonna go for bigger. It's not that big, but it's, you know, it'll be better for better current flow for the woofer, so I won't be starving the subwoofer at all with this here. And then with this one here, I can even use it for my signal from speakers to speaker to our high-low converter. Okay, and then the other option is for the high-low converter, it will be this one here. This is a little bit smaller than 1 millimeter squared. And then finishing it off would be this RCA, which is a OFC RCA cable, 1.5 meters long. And what's going to happen here with this here is this cable is the one that basically blocks out unwanted signals from the outside to the cable going through to your amp or to your deck, so that you can hear unwanted, you don't want to hear that unwanted frequencies in that. So I got that cable, and then here I've got the pushing terminals, well, not pushing terminals, sorry, the small power cable terminals. Okay, the smaller ones, the ETBT smaller ones will then be for the high-low converter, and then that bigger one will be for the main power cable. Looking at that, I am gonna probably opt for the 10 millimeter squared, because that terminal is a 10 millimeter squared. I can't seem to find my 16 mil one, so I think I'm gonna stick with a 10 for now. Okay, so that's just a quick rundown of what I will be putting into that Nissan Almera. And the box, that JBL 8-inch is going to go into a 6th order bandpass parallel, and then I'll be feeding it about 120, maybe 150 watts RMS. I'll see how it goes and that, the amount of power that I can actually give it. But this year now, what I want to talk about is, guys, I know sometimes, you know, it's difficult to explain certain things, you know. It's a lot of information, you know, so it might sound long-winded, but this game, this whole industry of audio in general, not just car audio, not just home theater and all that, it's a huge learning curve. If you have to take, for argument's sake, the best builders, the best engineers in this game, and then you sit down and you actually try and learn from them, you will be here for 2 to 3 years and you'll still won't even know everything, especially when it comes to formulas and okay, certain equations and what material, what to do, what not to do, how to measure, sound bouncing off, sound reflecting, sound bouncing and reflecting, the same thing, sorry, sound being absorbed, sound reflecting, I mean, all that stuff it's a lot to take in. So I do know that sometimes it's a bit of a long-winded videos and that, but then also think of it like this: I'm not one of those guys that will, like, you know, smooth talk you into something. I'm showing you I know more or less, or I can say a lot more than the average guy out there that's a average basehead. So yes, that's why I don't pause the camera as much as I do. I would rather run it so you can see me speaking, and then you can actually see that, okay, you know, the guy does know what he's talking about, you know. But there's so much information, some of the stuff I forget. Guys might say that, you see, he didn't say that. Okay, sorry if I do forget certain things, you know. That'll just make the video longer. But this game is so big, it's impossible to cramp everything in 10 videos even. It's impossible. There's no way. There is no way that can happen, okay? So that's why, you know, sometimes they are long-winded. I try and keep them as short as possible, but it's very difficult, guys. So if you can, just please bear with me on that one there. And yeah, so I'm gonna do the part 2 soon enough. And part 2, I'll be talking about the sixth order itself, the actual build, the breaking in of the subwoofer, and then I will, if it permits, I will then also test the 4-channel to see how much power I'll be getting out of that. Noob Master out. Peace, guys. Bass on.